Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to start the part 6 of metal casting process. In this part, we will study the pattern material and its properties and also the molding sand properties. So let's start with the part 6. So for the pattern material, some key factors must be in mind before choosing a material for the pattern. The first one is the material used in the pattern should be cheap in cost and easily available in the market. The second one is the material should have a good surface finish so that the product will also have a good surface finish. Third one is the material should withstand at a high temperature and does not change its properties, shape and size at elevated temperatures. So generally there are five different types of material to make the pattern, and those are: first one is the wood, metals, plaster of Paris (POP). Fourth is plastics and wax. So we will see these one by one. The first one is wood. Generally, pines, deodar, walnut, teaks are used for making pattern. So these trees will be used for making a wood pattern. So what are the advantages? The first one is wood is light in the weight, easily available in the market. You can make any shape using wood very easily. Woods give good surface finish also, but there are some disadvantages also there. The first one is wood is attracted to the moisture and sometimes it can changes on the high temperature and moisture also. If we allow to pass through the high moisture area, then wood become become some become thick because of the absorption of the moisture, and wood are very weak in its strength, so it wears out quickly due to its low resistance to the sand abrasion, because sand is a very hard material and sand will um, rubbed out the surface of the wood, so that this wood the dimensions of the wood will be changed, and the if the pattern by dimension will change, the product dimensions will also be changed. So these are the advantage of that. So for these above reasons, it is not used for very big product casting. The second is metal. In metal, cast iron, brass, aluminium are generally used in the patterns. It gives a smooth surface finish. Smooth surface finish. This is the only reason that the metals are used in the large production of the casting workshops. Advantages are the smooth surface finish can be obtained by metals patterns because metal is a very smooth surfaces, and secondly the deformation is very less because metal will also withstand at a high temperature, so it will not change any shape and size, so deformation will be not there. And it is a very strong the metals are very strong in having more strength, so it will not deform because of any abrasion by sand. The third one is the closer dimensional tolerance. If there is no deformation, then the dimension of the product will also be very accurate. So the tolerance will be very close. Close means minimized. Disadvantages are it is a little bit costlier because it is a made of the metal, so it will have the cost of high. And the second is the have that due to its high density it is heavy. The third one is the sometimes rusting effect. If we are going to use iron based metals, so will be some problem of rusting effects occur on the surface of the metals. If the rusting will be there, then the surface finish also will become poor. Third one is the plaster of Paris. It is generally used if you need to set up the pattern quickly. If we need very fast pattern making, so that in that case we should use plaster of Paris. The main advantage of this pattern is it can easily cast into intricate, means very jatil shape. Complex shape can be made using plaster of Paris pattern. And third one is the however it is not for the repetitive uses, it is fragile, means it is very less very weak. That's why it cannot be used for the repetitive casting, because it will break down after some 2 to 3 casting processes. So it cannot be used for the more than 2 to 3 casting processes. Next one is the plastics. The different types of the plastics are nowadays used in the pattern because of their lighter weight, strength, and the dimensionally stable, and also for cheap in cost. The thermoplastics and polysterenes are commonly used for making patterns, and the thermosetting plastics such as the phenolic and epoxies are used mm, in the making pattern. The advantages are the light in weight, cheap in price, it possesses a good compressive strength, no tension for of rusting or moisture absorbing. And disadvantages are they are a little weak in strength and not good for abrasion resistant. Means it will also weird out if it will contact with the sand. Wax. A wax pattern used in the investment casting. This type of the casting is used for the very complex shape to be made. So that type of casting is used. That is known as investment casting. In that casting, the wax will be used for as a pattern. By using this pattern, we get a high degree of accuracy and have an excellent surface finish. Because wax is a very smooth, so and the molting metal, sorry, melting metal will liquid metal will be in contact with the wax, and it will make a very good or very excellent surface finish on that. Next is, however, it needs a little care handling, otherwise it can be broken, because wax is very weak material, and it is used in a small casting only. No, so the next topic is the binders used in the casting. The binders are added to a base sand to bond the sand particle together. It is the glue that holds the mold together. To prevent infiltration, means entrance of a molten metal into the core body, and to allow easy separation of the sand core from the cast product. The different types of binders are clay and water. A mixture of clay and water is most used binders. There are two types of clay commonly used, that is bentonite and colonite, with the former being the most commonly used. The colonite is mostly, sorry, bentonite is mostly used. Oil. Oils such as linseed oil, other vegetable oils, and marine oils used to be used as a binder, and however, due to their increasing cost, they have been mostly phased out. The oil also required careful baking at 100 to 200 degrees centigrade. Careful baking is required, because at high temperature, the oil can be fired out. The next one is the resin. Resin binders are natural or synthetic high melting point gums. The two common types used are urea formaldehyde and phenol formaldehyde, abbreviated as a UF and PF resins. The PF resins have a higher heat resistance than UF resins, and cost is also less. The resins binders are quite popular because different properties can be achieved by mixing with the various additives. Other advantages include good collapsibility. We will see what is collapsibility in the next slides, and they leave a good surface finish on the casting. The next one is the sodium silicate. The sodium silicate is a high strength binder used with the silica molding sand. This is very important for the silica sand casting. The mostly used binders is sodium silicates. The sodium silicate is Na2SiO3, or we can write it in the form of Na2O SiO2. This is sodium oxide, and this is silicon oxide. So to activate, means to start the function for the binder, the carbon dioxide gas is used, which creates the following reaction. Like, this sodium silicate will react with the carbon dioxide and produce NO2CO3. This NO2CO3 will act as a binder. So the advantage to this binder is that it can be used at a room temperature and is very fast, because reaction is very fast. And the disadvantage is that its high strength leads to shake out difficulties and possible hot tears. Hot tears means this is the type of defect in the castings. So after because of the high strength, it is very difficult to break down the molding sand after the casting process done. Okay, the next topic is molding sand properties. So what are the molding sand properties? The first one is the porosity. What is porosity? Porosity also known as the permeability. So we will see the what is permeability also in the next slide also. The permeability is the most important property of the molding sand. It is the ability of the molding sand to allow gases to pass through. Means whenever we put liquid metal into the molding cavity, there is a fusion of carbon from the silicon oxide, and some carbon additives are added into the molding sand that will be burned out because of high temperature of liquid metal, and they will produce the gases, and that gases and steams are generated during the pouring of the metal. I have told you that in the sand cavity, this property depends not only the shape and size of the particle of the sand, but also on the amount of the clay, okay, binding material, and the moisture contained in the mixture. So if the moisture is higher, then the gases will produce higher, because after moisture will burned out, that will produce the gas, and that gas is required to be taken out from the molding. So that is required. The porosity is also required. So next is the cohesiveness. What is cohesiveness? Adhesiveness and cohesiveness. There are two properties: adhesiveness and cohesiveness. Cohesiveness is the thickness property within the material, but adhesiveness is the thickness property to the other material. So cohesiveness is the property of the sand to hold its particle together, to hold its particle together. It may be defined as the strength of the molding sand. So the question can be asked, what is the strength of the molding sand? So it is known as cohesiveness. This property plays a vital role in the retaining intricate shape of the mold. The insufficient strength may lead to the collapse in the mold particle during handling, turning over, or closing. Clay and bentonite improves the cohesiveness. The bentonite used as binder is increase the cohesiveness property. Next is adhesiveness. Adhesiveness is the property of sand due to which the sand particle sticks to the sides of the molding box. Just like I told you that it is the property of the material to stick with the other material. So the particle of the sand will stick with the molding box. If it is happen, then we can say the adhesiveness is higher for that sand particle. So the adhesiveness of the sand enables the proper lifting of the cope along with the stand. Next is plasticity. Plasticity of the sand particle. The plasticity is the property of the molding sand by virtue of which it flows to all corners around the mold when rammed. When we apply a force for compactness of the molding sand, that hammering is known as the ramming, and thus not providing any possibility of left out shape, and acquires a predetermined shape under ramming pressure. When we apply a force on the sand, it will not destroyed, and means it will not discontinued from their shape. It will regain its new shape. That is known as the plasticity of the material. The flow ability is the ability of the molding sand to free flow and fill the recesses and the fine details in the pattern. Means wherever the vacancies, valence, means free space is there in the molding mold box, that that sand must fill that vacancies, so that every space will be filled with the sand particles. So that property is known as the flow ability. The collapsibility. The collapsibility is the property of sand due to which the sand mold collapse automatically after the solidification of the casting. Collapse means destroyed. Means after the casting process has been done, means solidification of the liquid metal has been done, the product has been made into the molding box, then the 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 sand must be collapsed after that process, so that we can remove out our product. The mold should disintegrate into small particles of molding sand with the minimum force after the casting is removed from it. Refractoriness. Refractoriness is the property of sand to withstand at a high temperature of the molten metal without fission or soften. Molding sands with poor refractoriness may burn when the molten metal is poured into the mold, and usually the sand molds should be able to withstand up to 1650 degrees centigrade. 1650 degrees centigrade temperature is to be required for good refractoriness. If the sand withstand at this temperature value, then we can say that that sand is a very good, having a good refractoriness. The last, but it is also, we have seen in this that porosity is also known as the permeability. So it is a property of the foundry or molding sand with respect to, this is also known as the foundry molding sand or foundry sand, with respect to how well the sand can vent means ventilation, means air is to be passed from the some space to the outside. That is how well gases pass through the sand. And in other words, the permeability is the property by which we can know the ability of the material to transmit fluid or gases. So I hope you have understand all the terms used in the this part. And in the next video lecture, we will start with the chapter 2, which is known as the metal forming process. Okay, thank you for listening my lecture. Just stay tuned for the upcoming video lectures.